to wrap my husband's Christmas present. So my husband is, it's okay guys, I saved it. Oh, I just have a bunch of Halloween bats in here, okay. So I'm very much going for the just whack it on and put on lots of sticky tape vibe this year. Well, I ripped the wrapping paper, so this is going really well. Hello, I'm Jessie, the Sleepy Koala, and welcome to another day of Bookmas. Today, as you can see, we are in a different spot. This is the lovely Christmas tree my husband and I put up last night that our cats have already started destroying, so we have to keep putting things up, but that's okay. Today, I thought I would do something a little bit different, a little less booky, but a little more get to know me, because I feel like I haven't done very much of that on this channel yet. And I really enjoyed the booktube newbie tag because it did have some get to know you questions in it, as well as actual book questions as well. So I thought I would do something a bit similar. So I'm doing a combination of a Christmas themed get to know me and then also a Christmas would you rather, because I think that sounds really fun. And while I'm doing this, I plan to wrap my husband's Christmas presents. My husband is already well aware that I am wrapping his Christmas presents, so he has said he will not watch this video until after Christmas so that he does not get spoiled for them, because I know I love a good surprise. I love surprises, particularly Christmas-based surprises, and I like to surprise other people, so I get really, really excited when I buy gifts for people because I try so hard to get things that I think that they will really, really like or appreciate. And I just want to see that moment when they open the present and they just get that giant smile on their face because they didn't expect it and they love it. And that's what I love to have for presents when I give to people. So my husband has said he will not watch this so that he can have those surprises and that wonder for when he opens presents. Oh, I have no idea where to start. I have a lot of packages here. I've got my trusty gift wrapping paper and a bunch of bags that were, I think, all Amazon gift bags. There might be some other ones in there as well. But there's lots of Amazon gift bags for things if I want to bag things. And if I really want, I have some boxes, but they're upstairs. I didn't think it was worth bringing those down because I don't think I want to box any of this stuff. I'm just gonna wrap it. So here's the thing. I hate wrapping things. I really hate wrapping things because I am very pedantic about whether things are perfect or not perfect. I am that perfectionist who either puts all in or nothing. So what used to happen is I used to get so frustrated wrapping presents that I would just give up and put a bunch of paper and just wrap around with sticky tape to the point that I was just known in my family for how terrible I was at wrapping. Because if I tried to be good at it, I was never good enough to satisfy myself and it just upset me. And I used to get so frustrated by it and I didn't like that, so I just stopped trying. And then I grew up and became an adult and realized that I could just spend money to get bags and boxes and I didn't even need to wrap things. I could just put it in something that was pre-formed and give it to someone like that without having to go through the stress and the anxiety of trying to wrap things perfectly. I still would normally go for bags and boxes over wrapping things, but that makes a very boring wrapping video. So I decided, because I wanted to do this video, I'm actually gonna wrap a lot of these things. A lot of them are also in boxes of their own, so that does make it a bit easier. So let's see how I go and how frustrated I get doing this. Firstly, I have to open everything to then put them back in everything. So that's good. The first question of my Christmas favorites list is, what is my favorite Christmas song? So I adore Christmas music so very much. I love when we get to the holiday season, and I know that most people hate it, but I am that person who loves going to the shops because they're playing Christmas music and everyone else is standing there loathing everything, and I am just gleeful inside from hearing all this Christmas music. Why is this rattling? Oh, because there's other things in it. Okay, that's fine. I absolutely love Christmas music so very, very, very much. So when asked to choose my favorite song, that's really hard because there are so many good songs out there. Like, I was listening to a Christmas playlist the other day, and there's this new song called Merry Christmas, Happy New Year by Zooey Deschanel and somebody else who I don't remember the name of. And it's just brilliant, and it's so catchy and so much fun. So I love that song. I adore Have Yourself a Very Merry Christmas. I think it is a beautiful song. There are some amazing Christmas hymns as well, like the First Noel, Oh Holy Night. They're gorgeous. And when I was a kid, I used to go through all of the different Christmas carols. Jingle Bells, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Away in a Manger was one of my favorite Christmas carols from when I was a kid. What else is there? I love Santa Baby. It is so poppy and fun, and it's just such a fun song. Another one that I really like, but it depends on the actual version, is Baby It's Cold Outside, because some versions are really creepy and give the wrong message for that song, and it's very much one that can be seen as a bit controversial because of what is happening in it. But I think if you get the right version of it, then the flirtatiousness there really makes the song and really changes the entire tune of it so that it's not a creepy guy trying to get a girl to stay at a bar. Like, she really wants to stay in some versions and she's trying to talk herself into it. And that's where that song is really good. But anyway, I really like Christmas songs. I really like Christmas carols and Christmas hymns. So I can't really choose a single Christmas song that I would say is my favorite. I'm just gonna say all the ones that I said and probably many, many more because they're just so good. I love Christmas music so much, guys. Why is my paper so bad like this? Okay. Well, I have a really small thing, so I can actually use this half paper. I'm also not doing very well at actually like wrapping while I talk. I'm not very good at multitasking. So this may end up being me talking at the camera and then doing a bunch of my wrapping off screen and just cutting all of that out and making it sound like I did all of my wrapping while I talked and then actually didn't. But let's see how I go. The next Christmas favorite question is, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I don't know how to answer this, but it's the opposite of the Christmas songs question. It's just, I don't actually watch that many Christmas movies and I don't really have a favorite because of that. Like, there's ones that I like and there's ones that I didn't like in the past that I like now. The Grinch is definitely one that comes to mind. Like, I used to watch it as a kid, but I kind of didn't enjoy watching it at the same time. I don't quite know why, whereas now I'm grown up and I know that Jim Carrey is just one of the most hilarious people on the face of the planet. So it's really hard to not love the Grinch now because I love the Grinch as a character, even though as a kid, I just didn't care that much for the actual movie. What else is there? I know that Die Hard is considered a Christmas movie, and I think it's fine. And I hope that I don't offend anyone by saying that, but I think the movie is just fine. I wouldn't say it's as fantastic as people make it out to be. It was an enjoyable movie, and I've watched it several times, but I don't really remember what it's about besides that it's set at Christmas and Severus Snape is the bad guy. So I don't know that much about that movie. I watched one last year that was very much a Christmas comedy. And honestly, I'm just so bad at remembering what's in movies and what's in things in general that it makes it hard for me to answer questions like this. Like, a lot of the time, if I have a list of questions like this, I will actually have to go through and pre-plan some of my answers because I am not good at coming up with things on the spot whatsoever. Also, look, I finally wrapped my first one. How far into this video are we? I don't even know, but I finally wrapped my first present. Okay, so the first would you rather, so I'm gonna interchange them, is white lights or multicolored lights? As you can see, we have multicolored lights on our tree, but I think out of the two, I actually prefer white lights. I find that white lights are really Christmassy, but in a really elegant way. But the nice thing about white lights is that you can use them year round as well. And it doesn't quite matter if you leave them up or take them down. I used to have really, really pretty lights in my room in my last 2 places actually before I lived with my husband, and they looked so pretty, and it was just so nice having fairy lights up, and they work so well for Christmas time as well. Also, I'm getting my husband these tiny little hedgehogs, and they go in the dryer and it stops clothes and sheets from going in on each other because we always have that problem. And they're so cute. I'm gonna take one out. I won't open it though. Look at how cute these little hedgehogs are. They're just absolutely adorable. So I think this is not a wrapping paper. This is very much a bag situation. So I'm glad I have all these bags. Now just to find one in the giant bag of bags that I have. Our second this or that is hot coffee versus hot cocoa. So I am such a coffee drinker, but I don't really like hot coffee. I don't know what it is, but I much prefer iced coffee. Oh my God, guys, the hedgehogs fit perfectly into this little bag. That's really cool. So I'm not much of a hot coffee drinker, but I'm also not much of a hot chocolate drinker either. Part of it is just like, I am generally pretty conscious of how many calories I consume because I am a small person, and it is very easy for me to overconsume calories. But I'm also just not much of a chocolate person either. So I also generally don't have hot chocolate, but I have had hot chocolate a couple of times recently, just over autumn. I had this really, really cool Halloween mug, which it was just perfect for having hot chocolate in. So out of the 2 of these, I do think I have to go with hot chocolate, because out of the 2, I'm more likely to drink hot chocolate than hot coffee, even if I don't drink either of them very often. The next is gift giving or gift receiving. I love giving things to people, like so very much. I absolutely adore gift giving. I love receiving a gift. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore receiving a good gift. But I honestly think I would prefer gift giving. Like, I love seeing that look on people's faces when they get a good gift. It's so good. So I've got to go with gift giving in this case, though I love getting presents. I love me some presents too. The next is holiday treats. So this one's gonna sound really strange, particularly if you live in North America, I think. But in Australia, it is summer over Christmas time. And it is hot. It is very hot. So you generally don't want to have a big roast with like the roast veggies and all of the really hot foods at Christmas, because it is just way too hot to do so. I am running out of room in front of me. That makes wrapping presents hard. Oh, of course this is near the end. So I'm very much going for the just whack it on and put on lots of sticky tape vibe this year, because this is real tedious as heck, and I'm not sure how much stress I want to go into doing it. Where was I? So yeah, in Australia, you generally have colder foods on Christmas, at least where I was from. So generally there's a lot of seafood and cheeses and breads and ham. There is cold cut ham. When I was a kid, we used to get a big leg of ham and we'd have ham off the bone, and it was delicious. And the last place I lived before moving to America, there was a little deli and they actually had legs of ham, and you could go buy ham off the bone. And I love ham. I love ham so very much. It is absolutely delicious. And this ham in particular is so good. And they just cut off big chunks for you. And it was delicious and gorgeous, and I loved it. And that would definitely be my treat, because it was my treat. That was my Christmas treat every year, because this stuff was like 30, 40 bucks a kilo. So that's like 20 bucks a pound, I think, in America. So it's expensive to get this stuff, but God, it was so good. So yeah, every year I would go get myself some, and it would be my Christmas treat, and I would just have the time of my life eating it, and would just sit down and have this big Christmas lunch for myself, where I'd have ham and I'd have bread and I'd have cheese. I wouldn't have the seafood because I'm not a seafood eater, but gosh, I love that ham so much. So very much that would be my Christmas treat, which is not, I think, what this question was going for, but that's where I'm going with it anyway. Next one is favorite Christmas drink. There's a couple to choose from because I'm being very bad at choosing a single thing for these questions. The first one is eggnog, because I do love me a good eggnog, and I've had some really fantastic alcoholic eggnog. I have the recipe for it. It's so good. It is so boozy, but it's just so tasty. So I do love some good eggnog. The second is probably rosé, and the third is white wine. So I'll just put them together. And this is, again, because like coming from Australia, you generally have like the colder drinks while you have Christmas lunch, and having rosé or white wine is just, it feels very Australian to do, but those are the things I would generally choose. And I don't think that's gonna change just because I'm in America now, because it's just so ingrained in me and I love them so much. There's also just a fantastic song by Tim Minchin that's White Wine in the Sun, and it's all about Christmas time, drinking white wine in the sun with your family. That's a very typical thing to do for an Australian Christmas. So this package has a big bulge here because it had too much wrapping paper. So instead of cutting it, I don't know how well you can see it, I've just ripped it here and bulged it out. But you know, it's closed. So that's what I care about. Next one is favorite Christmas memory. So it is really hard for me to go past the memory of last year's Christmas in 2020. I actually had an incredible like long distance Christmas in 2020, which is not something that most people would ever say or hear. But it was my first year in my own place where I was living by myself and I had no housemates anymore. I'd been living with housemates since I moved to Sydney for university, and it was just nice to have my own place. So I had my own place, and I elected not to go to my extended family house for Christmas this year, which I had done before, and it's very nice. But I just kind of wanted to relax at home. I didn't want to have to go do big celebrations, and it worked out so nicely. So I did a video call with my fiance, now husband, and my Nana and my cousin, and then on a separate call there was my fiance, my mum, and my brother, and it was just so pleasant. We had like a good 30, 40, 50-minute chat on each call, just caught up with each other, and then that was it. Then it was time to just sit back, relax, put up my feet, and just do whatever I wanted. And I love spending time with family on Christmas, but I do tend to get overwhelmed and exhausted pretty quickly by being around people. I am very much an introvert in the way that I need a lot of time to myself to try and recuperate and just get my spoons back, because I'm just not good at spending a lot of time around people and getting energy from that. So having a Christmas where I got to have the family times and I got to have those lovely interactions, but then was able to just spend time by myself and video chat my fiance as well, and just recharge and just have the rest of the day to do whatever I wanted, and I didn't have to do anything, and I had no more obligations. That was one of, if not the best Christmases I have ever had. I also got to have my Christmas lunch while I was talking to people, and I used to have this little indoor balcony thing, and I would set up on my table in my indoor balcony. It had wall-to-wall windows, and I just looked out on the most gorgeous day outside and ate my food and talked to people, and I had this tiny little pineapple that was my Christmas tree, and it was gorgeous. It was everything that I loved, all tied up in a neat little bow. So it is such a good memory for me, and I'm gonna remember that for a very long time. Next, this or that, we have gingerbread house versus holiday cookie. I don't like ginger, so I don't like gingerbread at all. I like making gingerbread cookies, and I have a gingerbread house that I'm gonna make with my husband, and I'm very excited to do that because I've never done it before and it seems like such a great couples activity. But eating gingerbread? No, just not at all. I don't know what a holiday cookie is. I feel like that could be a lot of different things, but I just have to automatically go with that one in this case because I don't want to eat gingerbread at all. So give me that holiday mystery cookie instead. The next one is Grinch or Elf, and I think this is asking about the movies, and seeing as I mentioned the Grinch before, I'm just gonna go with the Grinch. Again, Elf is kind of like Die Hard, where it's a fine movie, but I think people maybe hype it up a little bit too much for the holidays. But even then, it's nice to have holiday traditions and to watch the same things at the same time. I mean, I do that with Halloween. Halloween has become my Hocus Pocus night, where I watch Hocus Pocus once a year in Halloween and have lots of fun. And of course, this year had lots of trick-or-treaters come around, and that was really nice. I'm out of wrapping paper. I have 2 things left. Maybe I can make it work. Well, I ripped the wrapping paper, so this is going really well. I guess we're doing it like this, and I just have to put the other thing somewhere else. Maybe I can put it in a bag because I don't want to go get the rest of the wrapping paper. Next is real tree versus fake tree. So I grew up with fake trees because North Queensland is a swamp and very hot, and you don't really want to have a real tree there because the real tree will die very quickly. They don't even sell real trees up there, I don't think, or at least not like they do in America, where they've just got the tree field things where they set up all of the trees and you just go there and you can pick one and buy one. That is not a thing where I grew up. I know a couple of people who had real trees in Sydney, but I would just go for a fake tree personally. Like, this tree is fake. I think it looks beautiful. It does still shed absolutely everywhere. There are tiny little bits of the fake pines all over my floor. But if I'm gonna be spending a bunch of money on a Christmas tree, then I kind of want it to last more than a single Christmas. And I know, like, I just got a cheap $70 one, which honestly sounds kind of expensive to me because I have definitely seen them cheaper in Australia. But I've also seen real ones that go for the same price. And I'm like, if I'm paying $70, I just want it to last and I don't want it to die at the end. And then I have to deal with a dead tree and getting rid of a dead tree. That just sounds like a lot of work and effort that I don't want to put in. And if I can cut out work and effort, then I 100% will always do that. So I would go fake tree. I think they look perfectly fine and they just last longer. The next one is home for the holidays or travel. I'm, I guess, technically going home for the holidays this year because I'm going to my parents-in-law's place up in Oregon, which is, I guess, technically travel, but also going home for the holidays. My husband and I are also doing a fun holiday trip to Seattle afterwards, so we can see a bunch of friends and just hang out there. I'm down to the last present. But I don't know. I'm generally home for the holidays. Like, I don't normally travel to go see people. And I don't normally travel to go see family just because it was always too far or too much. And I've instead done other things. So I guess unless home for the holidays means like actually just staying at my own house, then I'm gonna have to go with neither of them because I don't go home to my family and I don't travel either generally. So next is, what is my favorite Christmas gift as a child? I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's the one that I remember. I think I might have been 10 or so, and I was gifted Barbie the Nutcracker movie, which was bomb ass, and I loved it so much. And a Bionicle on the same Christmas, which I remember distinctly going and making after I watched Barbie the Nutcracker. So those are definitely gifts that I got when I was a child, and I really enjoyed those. Let's see if any of these will fit. That one seems really big. This one also seems really big. I either have things that are too big or too small. No, oh no. That one's way too big. Can't use that one. Oh, I'm gonna have to go get more wrapping paper. I don't have gift stickers, but I do have tissue paper. Okay, the last either or is ugly Christmas sweaters versus matching pajamas. 100% matching pajamas. I don't know if these are meant to be like top and bottom match on me, or it's like couples matching pajamas, but those sound dope. I would love to have some matching pajamas because I wear pajamas to bed every night, and currently it's just like some long yoga pants I have, and like a shirt that I just pull out of my drawer. It doesn't matter which one. I just pull a t-shirt out and like, this is now my sleep shirt tonight. So I would totally be down for matching pajamas. That sounds amazing. And the last question, as I do my last present, is what is on your Christmas list this year? My Christmas list is very long. My family and I, we do Amazon Christmas lists just to make it easier to know what people want and to do presents and just kind of make it so people are getting what they actually want. I also try and think of things to get my husband in particular that aren't on his lists that I think he'll want, just so that there's something a little bit more special and unknown coming for him. My Christmas list doubles as my general wish list because I figure if I put it on there, someone might buy it for me, or I will eventually buy it for myself. And at that point, it will go off my wish list. So I put everything that I want on my wish list, regardless of whether I want it for Christmas or not. And that means that my list is quite long, but it does like cut down into a couple of really broad categories, which are dresses, books, miscellaneous, and really it's dresses and books. That's what I want for Christmas, is dresses and books. Something in particular that I would really like is I often wear petticoats with my dresses, and the ones that I have are kind of the cheap ones from Amazon, and they're fine. They definitely do the job. I would love to have some more higher quality ones so that they aren't quite as scratchy and that they look a little bit nicer and are a little bit more poofy. So that's probably one of the things that I would really like for Christmas. And I mean, again, if I don't get it for Christmas, I can just buy it for myself instead. Oh, this is gonna work perfectly. I have just collected all the little shards of paper that I had left, and I am constructing a fully wrapped present using little shards, which I'm sure my husband is going to really appreciate when he opens. Also my mother-in-law, because all of the little shards will end up on her floor. Huzzah! A fully wrapped present with like 4 different shards of paper. And I didn't have to go and get more wrapping paper because that is the last thing for me to wrap. Now for the final touch, I need to write my husband's name on all of these. We used to have those really cutesy labels and I just don't know where they are. They are probably in our second bedroom somewhere because that is also our storage room, but we are eventually turning it into a recording studio / library, which I'm so excited for because setting up and packing down all of my recording stuff every time I want to record is about as, or if more exhausting than recording actually is itself. Luckily, besides one thing that is in a bag, everything is in nice little boxes, so they would be very easy to write on. So I had to write directly onto this bag, so I guess this is the bag that I will always give my husband presents in now, because it already has his name on it, and I guess otherwise we have to scribble it out and then it doesn't look good. So therefore this is now his always bag for presents. I just have to make sure I always buy something that fits in this bag. That is all of my questions asked and answered. I hope you enjoyed finding out more about me and about things that I like at Christmas time, and also that I am very bad at answering questions directly and instead go on a roundabout route to say generally I don't know as the answer, or just completely go off topic and choose other options instead of answering the question. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you get more of these wonderful, wonderful Bookmas videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!